Okay, 3 times 3 plus 4 times 4. Cheyenne, 25. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 16 equals 25. Order of operations. 1 times 3 minus 1 times 3. Calvion? 0. Very good. 3 minus 3 is 0. Number 3, 3.2 times 4.5 plus 4.8. 0. Awesome. 19.2. Very good. I need to multiply first, then add. Very good. 4. 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Go. 10,000. And 1 times 1 times 1. 1. 1 plus 1 times 2 minus 1. 1 times 2 gets done first. So 1 plus 2 is 3. Minus 1 is 2. Very good. Today we're going to be dealing with exponents. There are different ways in which we can write exponents. There's different ways in which exponents can be misunderstood. Anytime you have an exponent, and it's written that way, it could be read as 5 to the 4th power. Your 5 is what's known as your base number, and the 4 is your exponent. That's the short way, that's the concise way of writing it. What is it the long way? How are we going to write that as a longer multiplication problem, Keyshawn? Very good. We're going to take our base number, which in this case is 5, and we're going to multiply 4 of them together. Okay? And that's how we come up with it. What is this not? What's the most common mistake that people make when they have exponents? It's not 5 times 4. Okay? People make that mistake all the time. They laugh, but then they make it on their homework assignment not minutes later. Okay? So you need to really be paying attention to what it is. It shouldn't be really anything that's majorly new to you, but it definitely bears making sure that you know what you're doing. Today, you're going to be also getting into some order of operations stuff. For example, hence the check skills you'll need to begin the lesson. Now, you'll see problems like this. And if you remember, actually on page 101, actually 100 even at the bottom, there's the order of operations reminder. The phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," is oftentimes used to help you remember the order of operations, but sometimes that can also be deceiving. The P in please excuse, the whole phrase, stands for parentheses. Anytime you see parentheses, the operations within get done first. Once you get inside the parentheses, then you follow order of operations still. Okay, it's kind of like its own separate world, but order of operations still get followed. Step 2 become the exponents. What's deceiving about step 3? A lot of times people make the mistake. The my dear in my dear Aunt Sally would stand for multiplication and division. But what's the catch, Willie?
You have to do it in order from left to right.
Yes, you multiply and divide in order from left to right. Just because it's my dear multiplication division doesn't mean you automatically multiply every time before you divide. All depends on what comes first. Aunt Sally, add, subtract in order from left to right. Question? So the best way to do it, Maddie, is to scan your problem and say, step 1, are there any parentheses as you move from left to right? If not, then I go back to the beginning. It's kind of like a typewriter. What a typewriter looks like, right? You type for a while, and it move across, and then you swing back to the beginning. The same thing with these problems. Now, you're right, Maddie, I would take a look and say, I need to simplify that exponent. 2 to the 3rd power, again, is not 2 times 3. It's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. The best way to avoid mistakes is to make sure that you rewrite what's left. No more exponents here. Step 3, multiply or divide in order from left to right. Well, there's subtraction. Not yet. I got to skip over and go to my division. 8 minus what is 6 divided by 3? And will equal 6. Okay? I'll give you one to try. Okay, so step 1, there are no parentheses. Are there exponents?
No.
Really means 11 times 11. What is 11 times 11, Brandon?
11 times 11 is 121.
Good. So now I'm going to start back, and I'm going to rewrite everything that has not yet been taken care of. And I'm going to scan the problem again from front to back, left to right. Adding, no, that's going to wait. Subtracting, that's going to wait. That's my last step. That's the 4th step. Let's divide. That's a 10. So 1 plus 121 minus 10. Now, if there's only adding and subtracting left, I just go from left to right. 1 plus 121 is 122 minus 10 equals 112. The trick with order of operation problems is that even if you do them incorrectly, sometimes you're still going to get an answer. And an answer that might look right. But there is really only one correct answer. Try another one. 5 plus 2 plus 1 squared. All right, order of operations. There are parentheses. So I need to make sure I do what's in the parentheses first. 2 plus 1 is 3. The squared on the outside of the parentheses means whatever is in here, whatever value ends up being, is going to be squared. In this case, it's the 3. 3 squared is my next step. 9 plus 5, 14. 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. Now 3 times 2, 3 squared.
Because I did that. I did that too.
You may also be asked to write some of these numbers in expanded form using powers of 10. Let's just revisit expanded form anyway. And once we see the regular expanded form, then the powers of 10 isn't that bad. If I were to use expanded form, that's where I take the place values, and I add what's in the place values, and I add them together. So like that 9 isn't just a 9. The 9 is... And then I'm going to add it to what the 5 is. The 5 is actually in the hundreds place. Then the 70, then the 2. Okay? Now, powers of 10 is a little bit different. I'm going to see that 9,000, but 9,000 times 10 to the what power is going to give me 9,000? Keith? Yes, 3. 10 to the 3rd power. In order to get 9,000, I would multiply 9 by what other number? Yes. 9, 10, 10 gives me 90. Give me 900. Yes. 9 times 1,000 is 9,000. What is 1,000 in powers of 10? It's 10 to the 3rd power. 10 to the 3rd power. 10 times 10 times 10. 1 times 1 times 1 with how many zeros? That's 1,000. Okay? Yes? I'm going to use the powers to write it in expanded form. So I know that the 9,000, okay, 9 times 10 to the thing. So then I'm going to add that to 5, the 5 and 500, times 10 to the what? Well, how many zeros do you have before you get to the decimal in this one? 2. Right? 10 squared, 10 times 10, 100, right? 5 times 100 is 500. And then 70 to the first power plus 2, 10 to the, how many places come after the 2 before you get to the decimal? 0. 10 to the 0 power. Okay, so you kind of find yourself counting down. Okay, there's an example right on page 100. So I'll give you one to try. You can follow the example that we had here if you copied it down. If you didn't, I just used what is on top of page 100. Same example, same everything. Okay, this first 5 times 10 to the, well, how many places come after it before you get to the 0, essentially, Destiny? 4. Plus the second 5, how many places come after it before you would get to the decimal? Yes? 3. The 6, how many places after it before you get to the decimal? 2. The 0, do I need to worry about the 0 at all? If it's not, it's holding a place, but it's not an actual digit. So I can skip right over and go to the 7 as long as I remember to skip over 1 with my power. How many places come after this 7 before you get to the 0? 0. If you do, it's fine. It's just not necessary. You can put it. Okay. Two dash 8. Tomorrow. Are you coming tomorrow? Number 1, write each expression using an exponent. So number 1, 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 should be written as what? Yes? The short way. Sydney. 3 to the 4th power. It tells you to name the base and the exponent. Not necessary, because if you get this right, it's obvious that you know what the base is and you know what the exponent is. Numbers 4, 5, and 6. Write each number in expanded form using powers of 10. That's what we just did. Okay? 7 through 14. Simplify each expression. So Joe, for number 7, 9 to the second power. 9 squared is what? Good. 81. So there's some order of operation ones there that we kind of touched on earlier. Yes? Sure. Then, the puzzle.
I hate crossword.
So there's some values for a cross. And you need to make sure that you get the correct number. If you have any idea how crossword puzzles work, they're actually a thing of beauty, because your answers only work for future if you didn't get the ones, if you got the ones in the past right. So everything has to be set up perfectly. So let's do number 1 across together. And it's 3 times 4 squared. Parentheses, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 squared, 12 times 12, 144. So, right in the box where it says 1, going across, a 1, 4, 4. Okay? So worksheet 2-8, and it's due tomorrow. There's a lot of problems on there, but the puzzle makes it fun.
Y'all be quiet. What's the last question? Raise your hand. Just trying to be quiet. Maybe I'm still awake. Does this recording thing? Does it record all our voices?
Should if it picks it up.